You may have noticed that things look a little bit different this evening.
Well,
Uh,
hello.
if you're on Spotify, you're not going to notice how it looks different, but it's going to sound different. That's because it is just myself and the lovely Jamie DeHart.
Hello, guys.
Hello, it is the Duck Boys, but this episode is the BOIS. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Dub
Um,
boys. I may not be a boy, but I'm part of Dub Boys.
Duck Boys.
Dub
BOIZ? Are we cool
Z.
enough for a Z?
Yes.
Z. Okay, cool.
We talk about superheroes. We get to Z.
What did you say, superheroes? Like we were in preschool. We talk about superheroes. We're good.
My mommy told me I could talk like this.
Anyways, Tristan's not gonna. I can't do it.
Anyways,
Tristan is Tristan is not with us this evening. Because he is in Florida. Uh, I hated I said that. He
Daytona.
he's in Daytona. He's off to the races. He's off to the racists.
Oh,
In oops. Turn left. Go.
another
NASCAR.
left turn.
There's only one race. NASCAR. It's just
There we go.
NASCAR.
I was about to say, am I about to hang up the Zoom call right now?
It's going to be a really short episode this week. So, what I had intended, or what we had intended for this week's podcast was to broach some more serious topics that Tristan and I are usually not mature enough to discuss,
Now,
and then
whether
we
or not we are mature enough to figure this one out will be tested.
yeah, and then we talked like this, and we talked about Daytona and why
And then we talked
Tristan's
about
not here.
superheroes, and then my mommy and
So on a more serious note, what we're going to discuss this week is
still
it's going to
feeling.
be yeah, and that's the truth. It's going to
Yeah.
be an episode about feelings and important life lessons and a little philosophy for you people that like that. Or if you like to make fun of people that like that, you can just hang around and talk shit.
You are welcome to roast me. It is allowed.
Absolutely. I can take anything, and by that I mean if you leave any mean comments, I'm gonna read them and I'm gonna think about it for a long time and not say anything
Yes, yes.
because that's what real men do with their feelings.
You suppress them until you punch walls and drink Monster.
You bottle them up and you push them away, and then you rename yourself Kyle, and then you put holes in your parents' drywall.
I want to go to war. Ah.
Quoting the U.S. circa 1965. I want to go to war.
I feel the testosterone pumping through my veins.
I feel it. I feel it. We're gonna take this testosterone and we're gonna turn it into napalm. Yeah. So, speaking of napalm and Vietnam and philosophy and the outdoors, how do you feel about Henry David Thoreau?
Bro was a very nice character. I really like him.
He's a really enjoyable guy. Just a real kind of guy that brings an acoustic guitar to the campfire and plays
I was about to say,
Wonderwall.
wasn't he the dude who lived in the woods?
Yeah, so if I'm getting this right, Ralph Waldo Emerson, apparently there's a thing with these transcendentalists like nature people where
Absolutely.
they have to have three names.
Yes.
The two prominent ones are Ralph Waldo Emerson and Henry David Thoreau. I guess the other thing with the three name thing is that one of them has to be French.
Oh, yes,
Henry
absolutely.
David Thoreau and
Yeah. You have
Ralph
to say it like
Waldo
you're like
Emerson.
really airy.
Really airy. You're talking completely out of your nose and
Throw your hands up in the air.
twiddle your fingers around a little bit. This is what it means to be French. Anywho, so I Thoreau's a cool guy, but I think Emerson's the OG. So I like any guy that looks like me does. I figured, hey, the outdoors are pretty cool, and there's this guy that writes about that and how cool it is. So I'll read his stuff, and I'm gonna believe that I'm the first one that's ever done it, and it makes me feel special.
I like trees.
I like trees, and this guy likes trees, but he says it in a cool way. So let's talk about
All right.
that. So I know that for some people that may have had to read Emerson stuff in high school, the big one is the I believe it's called the transparent eyeball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically it's an essay about passive observation, which is it sounds cool, but it's kind of the general mindset of a stoner. Just like I want to
Oh,
soak it all in, but not actively take part in any of it. Like I'm just constantly witnessing, but never doing. You know,
like most stoners, they just sit backs, sit backs. They
sit
sit
backs.
back and observe.
Oh, sit backs is the opposite of sit ups, and that's what
That's
stoners do.
hey. Lots of Cheetos are involved with stoners, though. I don't know if Cheetos were involved in Thoreau.
This is how we change the world. You know, like those little essay prompts. Like, if you could go back to one time in history, what what would you do and what would you bring with you? Like, I'm gonna bring a bag of Cheetos to Emerson's cabin in the middle of the woods, and
I'm
I
gonna bring
think
Mary
that's
Jane.
I'm gonna bring processed cheese to the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
No, the squirt.
Cheese whiz, cheese whiz
Cheese
for
whiz,
Emerson.
cheese whiz, and oyster crackers.
I'm
That's it.
I'm gonna turn Emerson into Max's friend from a Goofy movie. You know the
With
dude with
left
the
foot
with the
problem.
really small circular glasses? It's just like,
He
bro,
was the
cheese
funniest
whiz.
motherfucker in that movie, and nobody can tell me otherwise. He, he was the best. And he
He's
had the little beer gut.
I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. I need to go back and watch a Goofy movie.
He fucked. You know he fucked.
My man, they went to the little slam poetry club. You remember?
Cynthia. Different movie.
I remember watching that and it being so surreal because I didn't know any of what they were referencing. So as a young kid, I'm just like, why are they all in this dark room and they're just
Is she drinking grape juice?
what is that? There's
Forbidden
cheese
grape.
whiz here. That's so cool.
I want it like that when I grow up.
I want to eat cheese whiz when I'm older. Is this what college
Very
is? I want
sophisticated.
to go to
Yes.
college. Okay.
Sorry, Thoreau.
Thoreau. So I had a couple quotes set aside from him that I feel are pretty quintessential from Emerson. That is, I opened with Thoreau, but what I really meant was Emerson. Emerson's big thing is I believe anybody's welcome to correct me. I probably need it. I'm wrong a lot. But Emerson is big during this sort of industrial revolution time, and he feels like people need to step away from this march of progress. And most of his love affair with nature is due to that, or at least related in part to that.
Right.
Here's a quote: "Nature is an endless combination and repetition of very few laws. She hums the old, well-known air through innumerable variations," which is very stonery, but also very cool.
Right.
And a lot of his writing is sort of related to how nature ties its way into different facets of our life. And he has this like with all of his essay titles, they're little one word things. He likes to keep it short and simple.
Hey,
So like
that's
history,
good.
self-reliance, compensation, spiritual laws,
Wow.
love, friendship, prudence, heroism. This one's kind of dope. The oversoul.
Me.
The
over soul. There's too much.
The over soul. It's not. Sometimes I just listen to "Hold On, I'm Coming" by Sam and Dave, and it just takes me away. I'm just oversold, dude.
There's a lot of jazz.
But when that brass hits, it's just like, wow, how neat.
Soul is ripped from my body and exploded.
Bro, I can't believe my man ripped off Mac Miller. He has an essay called Circles. Unbelievable. Where's the respect for fellow artists?
Rest in peace, Mac Daddy. I will never get over that.
Oh my God.
So basically, he's talking about how nature, how we need to like what take a step back from being industrialized and moving so fast, and how nature plays a part in every aspect of our life.
Correct. He admires the simplicity of nature and thinks that humanity would be better off if we tried to replicate that simplicity within our own lives.
Right.
Which is true.
A little bit.
I think another philosophical little quandary or like belief is Occam's razor, which is that the simplest explanation or the simplest path is the best one.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Occam's razor because Occam is the guy that's credited with this idea, and the razor is supposed to like cut away all the excess fluff.
Right. Point A to point B.
Right. Streamline it. A similar idea with Emerson. I think that you want to keep it simple. Stupid. Kiss.
I feel like you could lead a more stress-free like life with keeping things simple. You know, like all like the materialistic things that we have in our lives and like everything. It can be really overwhelming when it gets too much. You know, like
True.
if you take a step back, kind of just like
Very.
go to the river one day or go camping. It's kind of like really relaxing and like you get to
Well,
breathe.
just be. You know.
Yeah.
You just gotta be, man. Just like live
You
in the
just gotta like
moment.
exist in your own presence, my guy.
Just be present, dude.
Take a
Be
fucking breath.
breathe, bro. You ever like really like actually focused on your breathing? Not like involuntary, but like you like feel it when it goes into your lungs and you like exhale.
I swear to God, if you tell me to breathe one more fucking time.
Bro, it's kind of like the pacer test, man. They like, but you like tell yourself, you know.
I had that whole thing memorized at one point in my life.
What is it? Oh my gosh, I only remember the first part of it. Just the FitnessGram Pacer Test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that gets increasingly more difficult as time continues, or whatever the.
Wait. I have it. I had literally.
Go for
I
it.
have it.
Oh, you have it in So I knew this moment would come. I had it ready. She's so good at podcasting. She knew what I was going to discuss, and she had it pre-written in a note.
Big brain.
Big
You
brain.
never know when you're gonna need this.
Yeah, for our
On my
Spotify
last
listeners.
day.
Yeah, for our Spotify listeners, she's got it pulled up on her. It was a pre-written note on her phone.
Oh yes.
Ready.
Absolutely. Like on my last day of my before I moved to where I live now, at my last day where I was working, I wrote this on the fridge, on the whiteboard, on the iPad, like in like a expo marker so they could get it off just to fuck with all of them. My boss, the owner of the shop, really tall Turkish dude, loved it. He thought it was the funniest thing ever. He had no idea what it was, but he thought it was really funny.
I like this copied text that's on everything. It's really, I don't know what it means, but I enjoy it.
Yes.
That's a direct quote from Johannes Gutenberg in the 1400s, right before he made the printing press. I like this copied text everywhere. I don't know what it means, but I want more of it. How do I do that?
Just want to write things in multiple amounts,
And I
but
want to
like
do it quicker.
like I don't want to write it.
And because I'm German, I want it to involve like some heavy machinery.
Oh no. No, 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 no,
Let's just gonna cut that off right there. We're not gonna go any further. Huh. But yeah, anyways, philosophy, right?
Philosophy. Brain.
In like the
Brain.
same vein of just the general, druggy hippie mindset of just take it easy, man, live in the moment. Any
Take
proper
responsibility.
stoner, any proper stoner knows who Alan Watts is.
Absolutely.
I recently started reading his stuff, which I guess makes me a proper stoner now.
Hmm.
Hi, mom. I don't actually do those things. I just read about
I
the
just read
things.
about doing those things. I try to step into their shoes to understand their brains.
I don't do drugs, mom. I'm gonna be a rehab major. Well,
Mm.
it's considered client research. I do drugs so I understand where they're coming from.
I'm trying to put myself into their shoes so I understand how they're feeling.
There's just something about railing a line of coke that really puts me on the same wavelength as the people I'm trying to help.
uh, I just
Oh,
need to know what it feels like to shoot heroin. The late response. The
you
late.
know, you know I can't do heroin. I'm white, and white people love heroin. I'll never get off of it.
Then you'll really understand your patients.
Yeah, you have to become the ball if you want to be the ball.
Be one with the tree.
Be one with the tree. I am one with the force. The force is with me. I am one with the force. The force is with me. Speaking of being one with the force, in this idea of letting things go and letting them be, letting go of the control of your life, just let these things flow. Um, Going back to Alan Watts, I loved this book so much I treated it like an English project for a high school class, and I took many many notes over
As
this
you
book.
should. As you should.
It's mostly just my favorite quotes, and then some of it's like how I feel about it. This quote: "Unless a grain of corn should fall into the ground and die, it remains alone. But if it dies, it brings forth new life." That is to say that
So heavy.
it sounds a little heavy, but once you break it down, I think it's true. You
Break
talking
it down,
about
Einstein.
you know what? Let's break it down.
Let's
I'm
break it
not going
down.
to put any flair on that because it's going to make me sound uber white. Let's just break it down, fellas.
Absolutely.
So the way that I see it, and I want to get your take on this,
Okay.
is you have to, it's about these different stages in your life, and there are going to be seasons, and when those seasons pass, that's what allows new seasons and change to come into your life.
Exactly.
And with much like the corn analogy, these little pieces are gonna fall off into the ground, and you lose the piece, but then springs forward a new plant, which then it brings forth new fruit.
Right.
That's the way I look at it.
I think of that as like everything that you've been through leads you to the next thing.
This is
Right.
true.
So, I mean, that's just common sense, but like you wouldn't be in the situation you're going to be in if you hadn't gone through what you went through previously.
Correct.
So, like, I don't know. I like say like the corn died, right?
This is true.
If I hadn't gone through this heartbreak, this trauma, this traumatic experience, I wouldn't be stronger. I wouldn't be more intelligent. I wouldn't be noticeable to things that are toxic, you know?
Right.
I
You
think
wouldn't be aware of the things that you are now. You wouldn't have known what to look for.
exactly. And I think that's how, instead of dreading or sulking in your past, what you went through, whatever, people need to think of this, or this is how I think of it at least, that if I didn't go through this, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. I wouldn't be as like not physically, but like mentally as tall as I am today. Kind of like a plant. It's like
Right.
when you cut a plant, you have to prune it. You got to cut a few pieces, and it gets taller, it gets stronger.
This is true. Yes, very true. If the corn had not fallen into the frying pan, I would not have popcorn. And then how sad would that be?
That movie would be really boring.
We would not we would not have grown from wallflowers to wildflowers.
Hey,
That's a that's a cool little inside reference. And maybe our listeners will find out eventually, but
maybe.
maybe. Um
I actually have a quote from Alan Watts that I really liked.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, cool. Please share.
Trying to define yourself is like trying to bite your own teeth.
I love that one.
I really loved that quote because you physically can't bite your own teeth.
Yeah, Alan Watts is really big on
Teeth.
words and the way that we use them. Yeah, also teeth. Alan Watts is a teeth guy.
Hey, everybody's
I
got their teeth.
we've all got fetishes, and I've got to put it out there. I do like my women with teeth.
Very nice.
I I know I'm one of the weird ones, but that's
Hey.
my preference. But he has lots and lots of quotes about definitions and words and the way that we use
Right.
them. Another one very similar to your quote is it's the old problem of trying to tie up water in parcels or attempting to shut the wind in a box to try and define oneself.
I love that because you just like
It's things that seem like they make sense at first, but then
exactly.
you're like, well, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's like well, like it makes like your first instinct is like, well, no shit, you can't bite your own teeth, but then you really think about it and you're like, holy shit, I can't bite my own teeth, and then you think more into it and you're like, why have I been trying to define myself and make myself this one thing for so long when I can be so much more, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's he's taking to the fullest extent the actions speak louder than words type
Mm,
thing. You can say as much as you want about yourself, um, but what's going to end up saying more to other people is the way that you act towards them and around them.
absolutely.
More
Absolutely.
more than you could ever say about yourself, or that could be
Yeah.
said about you. Um,
It's kind of like a resume. Like, you know how people kind of fluff their resume? They're kind of like, oh, well, I'm great at work ethic. I'm good with customers, blah, blah, blah. You never really know what you're going to be like with that job until you start working it.
this is true.
This is very true.
You just have to do it.
You just got to do the damn thing.
Alan Watts is also one of the big perpetrators of the hippy dippy. Just be in the present, man.
Hey,
He's very much he subscribes to this idea that there is no past and there is no future. It's just the eternal present. Like it's
I
always
cannot fuck with that.
it's always now, right?
Yeah,
The stuff that you plan for, you're just planning for when the now comes.
exactly. I kind
And
of like that.
it I've really started to like it.
Yeah.
I told my mom about it, and I think I explained it in the wrong way because she was like, "Well, are you just not going to plan for anything anymore?" I was like, "No, that's not what I meant.
No,
It's
you
just
still plan for it, but you're planning for the like for the present moment that is going to come, you
right.
know?
I'm not going to stress about the plans that I make because it'll come when it comes,
Exactly.
and that's when the plans will go."
And that's like actually something that like I have been really trying to focus on in myself. Like because I'm a anxious bitch and that is okay. And I'm trying to be okay with that, but it is okay. However, I've been telling myself like if I can't fix it in the next week, next 2 weeks, don't don't work myself up over it. Like whether it's like say like somebody was struggling with their weight or say somebody's struggling with oh I have this thing I have to do in the summer like an internship or whatever, if you can't fix it right now, don't work yourself up over it, stay present, stay like in the moment, like if you can fix it now, fix it now, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to put a pin in that too. The next guy that we're going to talk about is really big on um, control what you can and relinquish what you cannot. So
Pin
let's
pushed.
just go ahead and put that right there. And we'll come back for it in just a second. When we were talking about sort of being present in the framework of Alan Watts specifically, he has this quote from his book, The Wisdom of Insecurity, which
Ooh.
I think,
Oh,
yeah, right, right. Even the title alone is like, damn, okay, I see you.
all right.
The quote is the brain is made for man, not man for his brain. The function of the brain is to serve the present and the real, not to send man chasing wildly after the phantom of the future.
Wow.
A lot of this feels like very directed towards me, but
Yeah, I kind of feel called out and perceived at the moment, and
right, I think Wisdom of Insecurity was written early 50s. I want to say. Hey guys, Editor Sam here. The Wisdom of Insecurity was written in 1951, in case you were just dying to know. And back to the podcast.
so like before I even was a thought, but it was written for me.
Right. It sort of speaks to the continued relevance of it.
Hmm.
He's writing in a time that is just a huge boost of progress forward, technologically, culturally. This is directly after World War II, which
Right.
worldwide is having this huge push forward. Say what you will about war, it is a terrible thing. What is it good for? Um, but it
The
does lead to these
economy.
huge
I'm just kidding.
explosions of progress.
Right.
Um, and the concerns that he had about progress and our ever growing concern with work and our jobs and let's make money to put away so when we retire one day, I'll have this money for one day. And then
Right.
you get to one day and you're like, well, now I'm old and I can't do anything anymore. And I have all this money that I can't use.
Exactly. That's why I will go skydiving this year.
Will you?
I am dead set on going skydiving this year.
I've been. You should go.
I want to fall back, like backwards out of the plane.
So, yeah,
If
when
they let me do that.
that would be kind of cool. You'll have to be attached to somebody
Oh yeah.
because you have to go tandem. So I guess you would be back to the stomach of the guy who's going to be falling backwards out of the
Oh,
plane.
absolutely. I want to hurtle towards Earth face down.
I jumped attached to a very tall Russian man, and
That's kind of dope.
it was like his 6 or 700th jump, and he was really pumped about it. And he was like, "I'm going to make this one very special for both of us." I was like, hey man, this is
You're
my
like
first time,
take
so
it here
please be
first.
gentle. Please be gentle. I I am but a boy in the presence of a very experienced man. Please take it easy. I like to view this moment in my memory from the perspective of my mother because she went with me. Except I went first, so she watched her pride and joy get sucked out the side door of an airplane several thousand feet above the ground. And the way that they have you do this, they slide this door open. And for me, anyways, this Russian guy is like, okay, right foot on platform. I'm like, and it's outside the plane. It's just the platform and then forever. He's like, okay,
I'm
left foot platform, arms on doors. I was like, all right. I get out there. He said,
one.
jump on 3. I was like, this motherfucker's lying. I can feel it. We jumped on 1.
He said
And
one.
like you said, like you wanted to do, like he wanted to fall backwards out of the plane.
Yeah.
He jumped and then did a backflip. So
Fine.
I, in what was in my memory is super slow.
Right.
We're backflipping and I'm watching the plane fly away from us. And
That's so cool.
it's at that point my brain is juggling so many things at once. Like I don't think that's normally what you're supposed to see. And he flips back around and the whole earth comes into view and you're like, oh shit, here we go. But I
Oh,
would I would I would totally do it again. I was more scared going up than I was actually doing the jump.
oh, absolutely. That's how any roller coaster is too. Like
Right. It's the click, 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 click on the way up, not the swoosh on the way down.
I love roller coasters. I can't wait until pandemic is over so I can go back to riding roller coasters.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right.
I I have a very distinct memory of riding the Mr. Freeze at the Six Flags over Texas. So many times that I threw up on the way home.
Mm.
It was totally worth it. The Mr. Freeze is one of the best rides there.
When we went with the school to Disney World, um we rode oh my gosh, what is it called? The one that's like in the dark.
I've never been to Disney World, but I'm just gonna Space Mountain.
Space Mountain. Yes.
Hey!
We rode Space Mountain 13 times.
Oh my gosh.
We spent most like cuz like we had like little fast pass thingies and then we also my friend had tore his ACL. So he was in a wheelchair. So we
Oh,
got to the front of the line every
heck yeah.
time. It
Pro
was
tip,
great.
tear your ACL before you go to
Yes.
Disney
I mean,
World.
I twisted my ankle pushing him. So I made him get up
So I was oh my god.
and he pushed me in the wheelchair. And then we were at some other part of the park and I got like somebody jumped at me like in our like at our school like group. They jumped at me and scared me. I turned my body, hit my face into a rock. I had blood going all the way down my face. I remember sitting in that wheelchair with my friend who's torn ACL, sitting on the ground, just dying laughing. But anyways, roller coasters, scary up lead.
Yeah,
Great finish.
yeah, roller coaster, scary up till you do it. Skydiving, live in the moment.
Absolutely.
Um, okay, remember that pin we put up earlier? Right here?
Oh, are we pulling it back out? I already
We're-
forgot what the was about.
It's okay. I remember. That's why I put it there. So control what you can, relinquish what you
Hmm.
cannot. That's what we pinned up, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
We're gonna talk about one of my favorite boys. One of my favorite boys, and this is a BOI boy.
BOIZ.
Yeah, BOIZ boys. My boy Marcus Aurelius. Super dope guy, except for his extreme homophobia.
No, there's always something.
I mean, a product of his time, and that's like not like product of his time, like oh, it was the 60s. Things were different back then. Like no, it was the 160s. So
The
it doesn't
early years.
the early years. Yeah.
Back in my day,
Back in my day, we
we
ruled
beheaded
Rome.
women in the streets.
We ruled Rome and we took a shit in the streets.
I threw apples at women.
I threw apples at ladies and I wore a cat on my head.
But I threw the best apples at the ladies that were pretty.
I threw Granny Smiths at the pretty ladies.
Not that Fuji shit.
Red Delicious is for nerds. Apple supremacy.
Now, Honey Crisp.
Honey crisp apples.
Uh,
We have a family friend of ours who is a very very well-spoken German man, and he lectured me one time for maybe like 5 minutes, which is not. It doesn't sound like a long time, but on the topic of apples, it feels very long.
wow.
And he told me about how European apples are more flavorful and American apples are just full of sugar and sweetness because that's what Americans prefer. I was like, okay, I
It's
mean,
flavorless.
yes, as a whole, probably, but I don't know why you're directing all of this apple rage towards me. I am not the whole of America.
I'm but a 16-year-old boy just trying to eat a Granny Smith.
I'm just trying to munch on some fruit, dude, and you're telling me about how European apples are more superior, and like there's a history with Europeans acting superior that just doesn't play out real well. You know what I mean?
Y'all remember the Boston Tea Party?
The Boston Apple Party.
We're about to make it the Boston Apple Party.
Yeah, the Boston Apple Party. We had the boots with the fur, and we threw a whole bunch of shit into the water, and it was
They were
all
mostly
apples.
beans.
It was mostly Fuji apples. Looks like one of those cranberry farms, where it all floats on
I've
top.
always wanted to go to one of those and just wade and like
I feel like that buildup is not gonna pay off.
I know.
I want to go to the place because it looks super cool, and then you get there and you're like, I'm in the water with a bunch of fruit.
I would smell delicious afterwards.
This feels like a wet ball pit.
Ooh,
Ooh.
nasty.
uh yeah, anyways, that's all related to controlling what you
In the moment.
can and relinquishing what you can't. But our boy Marcus Aurelius, kind of homophobic, but very quotable also, in a good way. Um, I'm not doing this man justice by just focusing on the homophobia.
Hey,
I'm gonna
continue.
encourage our audience to look at Marcus Aurelius the way that most people look at Kevin Hart now. He said some terrible homophobic shit back in the day, but the art that he produces, you can still value the art even if you disagree with the person.
That's fair. That is very fair.
Yeah, so Marcus Aurelius is Kevin Hart. Um, so let's read a couple here. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present.
Okay, I love that.
Oh, there's so many. You love that one.
It's
Here's one
great.
in the spirit of Tristan, who is not here right now. In the
Rest in
spirit of
peace.
Tristan, the macho man badass. Uh, death smiles at us all, but all a man can do is smile back. Mm,
You hit the nail on the head with that one.
a boom.
But
Oh,
thank you.
you're gonna love this one.
Okay.
Jamie is something of a poet, and this is I think this is poetry. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts.
I do like that.
I know she likes that because Jamie has some synesthesia, I think.
I do be thinking in colors.
So I knew she would mess with that.
Yeah, everybody has a designated color. Everything in my room, oh, like in my closet, like this is a blue day, this is a green day, this is that kind of day. All of my school supplies colored. Like it's just all like Sam, you are a like dark forest green.
Okay, that makes me happy. I love dark forest green.
Yeah, that is like that's the like when I think of you, that's what color I think of.
Jamie and I talked about this the other day, and I think this is so interesting. Different emotions that she associates with colors.
Oh yeah.
Specifically, you said you associate white with anger, correct?
No, I associate
With
white with
sadness.
sadness because I
Yes.
believe sadness is the purest emotion.
That's just I I think that is so neat. I wish I had more of this color association. I think
Yeah,
that's
and like when
so
I think
neat.
of like happiness and like when I'm really, really happy or like super, super like just at peace, I I associate that with like a really light blue.
Hmm.
Like you know when you're like laying in the grass on a sunny day and you look up at the sky,
That
that
is
blue,
before you even said that. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
that color blue. Or like if I'm like super, super excited, I think of like an electric purple.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. You said electric purple, and now I'm just thinking like vaporwave stuff.
Yes. That is
Yeah.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
think of like Pink Floyd concert type purple. Yeah.
All right. I'm down with it.
Color association.
What's another one? I mean, there's probably literally thousands of good Marcus Aurelius quotes. My personal favorite, because it just cuts through the bullshit. It's right down to it. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one.
I love that.
It
Love
well, it
that.
kind of feeds back into what we were talking about earlier with Alan Watts. It's like you can use words as much as you want, but just do it. Just
Do the damn thing.
do the damn thing.
That needs to be on a t-shirt.
Do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing.
Are you listening, listener? Get off the couch. Stop listening to us right now. Go
Are
outside
you
and do
not
the
running
damn
right
thing.
now?
Run, move, use your legs, use your feet. If you don't have feet, use your wheelchair. Get out there, move quickly, faster, or your prosthetics. I'm not here to discriminate. Whatever you've got, move, go.
Do you have a paraplegic listening?
I
I
could.
love it.
I don't
We
know.
could. We very well could.
We
Hey
could.
guys.
We could have anybody listening.
I love that.
Probably not the deaf community. That is probably the one community that wouldn't be listening. But if you have somebody that's signing for you, that's also really cool. Do that too. I'm now through your translator talking to you. Their hands are moving really fast and they're telling you exactly what I'm saying right now. Go outside, do the thing, run, explore the world, be present. Don't worry about tomorrow when you have today. Somebody somewhere in the very distant future is just signing persistent laughter.
It's the she is wheezing very loud.
For some reason, she is wheezing very loud, has the same energy of like that shirt or like the sticker art that Christian girls put on their wall that's like she is clothed in grace. And it's just yeah, that's it. There it is.
That's it. My mama gave me that one. Like, there we go. That one.
It's just gold cursive and it says she is wheezing loudly.
Woo.
All right.
Wait, there we go. This one, wait, there we go. That one. That's a Freddie Mercury quote.
Oh, what does that one say?
That one says, crazy little thing called love.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Speaking of go for just a moment, same wavelength. Go ahead, you first.
No, you go first.
No, no.
Okay. Speaking of Freddie Mercury, I want his signature tattooed on my body at some point in my life.
That would be, I think, a signature from a very well-known either artist or like artist as in physical art or artists as in musicians.
Mhm.
That would be the only script I think I would get on my body. I'm usually very hesitant to do words.
Me as well.
But
Because people be spelling shit wrong, dude.
yeah, I don't want to quote the very famous one, but you're something regrets, ragrets,
No regrets.
raggerts. No,
Yeah. I mean,
no,
I do want the tattoo. It's an Edgar Allan Poe quote, and it's in All I loved alone. I want that down my spine.
that's kind of hard. Like in the best way.
Thank you. That is just something that has resonated with me. I have read, sorry, little flex right here. I have read the complete works of Edgar Allan Poe 7 times. I just started my 8th time reading it.
That's almost biblical.
It's about the same size of a Bible. Anyways,
7 times I have read the complete works, and 7 times I shall do it more.
That is the one quote that has like stuck in my head because I got a lot of things going on up here in my brain, but
Hmm.
that is the one thing I'm like, damn,
Just
I could read that every day. I'm like, wow,
persistently in the back. It's just there.
literally on my back.
Soon.
Soon, maybe.
You imagine just going out to the pool and you see some girl that's just laying out on her stomach tanning, and it's just all down her back. It's all I loved. I loved alone. I'm like, man,
Is she sad?
is she is she okay?
What heartbreak did she go through? None, baby. I just like the quote.
Just go to try, man, what's your tattoo about? It's like, can't you fucking read? It says alone. Go away.
Do you not see that I love being alone?
You misunderstand the quote. All I loved alone, as in I loved being alone. I you go.
No, but in all realness, that quote, it's just like everything I love with like if I love something, I love it with my whole body. And like I don't have to share that love. Like I would like to like I share it with other people verbally, but like whether or not me and somebody else or me and you or me and my mom love something the same, it's not going to be the same as I love it, you know? So
Well,
like,
that's fair. I think that
you know,
rings true for a lot of people. That is not to just credit the way that you love, but
no, absolutely.
I we tell people how we love, but we don't love with other people. It's very much an internal process.
Exactly. And like how I was telling you the other day, we were talking about how like how we think. Like I was like I get really 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 excited and I start talking really fast about things I'm passionate about and I hit every mark but the thing I'm trying to say. And it's just because I'm filled with so much passion that I'm like, "Oh my god, I've got to get all of this out right now." That is kind of what I'm talking about when I say I loved it alone because I probably lost this motherfucker 5 minutes into me explaining it.
Yeah, so anyways, I think we should introduce Cheetos to Emerson.
Cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz for the nature man.
Fucking canned cheese.
And cheese?
Canned.
Like like canned?
Big dog. It is in an aerosol can. It squirts.
Oh, like cheese whiz.
Canned
I For
cheese.
some reason I just pictured like a Coca-Cola like soda can, and you just pop it open and it's just cheese.
Vienna sausage, but make it cheese.
Ooh, that did something that my stomach did not. Like I felt it just go.
You probably went.
Yeah, no, it's something down there. It heard Vienna sausage, but cheese is just
It said,
like
no, 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 no.
just
Don't you even think about it.
right. Just the verbal, the expression of that idea out loud was enough to. The tectonic plates of my tummy are shifting. Yeah.
The tectonic plates of my tummy are shifting.
Can you hear the
Please write a
earthquake?
book. Please write a book and make that the front page. Not the title page. When they open the book, that is the first thing they see.
Yeah, the author description page, like the biography, it's nothing. It's just a picture of me with like a goofy, and like right underneath it, the only thing it says is quote, the tectonic plates of my tummy are shifting, end quote. That's how
And
I get them to read the book.
that's it. That's all they need to know.
All right.
Yep.
Did I tell you I hung out with one of my coworkers yesterday, and while we were hanging out, we were literally hanging out. We went hammocking at the lake.
No.
She sits up in the hammock, and there's like five of us hanging out, and she says, "I just can't stand podcasters." And I'm just like sitting in the hammock. I'm like, oh, I want to hear this.
You're like,
Like,
keep talking, bitch.
who the fuck
Kidding.
wants to listen to other people talk? Like, if I wanted to listen to you talk, wouldn't I just call you? Like, there's no reason. And she's just going and going and going. I'm like, I'm like trying to egg her on. It's like, I want to see where this goes. Like, man, you really feel strongly about this, huh? And she's like, you have no idea. Like, it's insufferable that anybody thinks I would want to listen to them. I was like, do go on, please.
Word.
And she gets to the end of it, and she's like, I know, like for me personally, like I just ramble a lot. So like nobody would want to listen to me talk. So I was like, you should do it. Making a podcast is fun. I do it all the time. And she was like, oh?
She said, what?
I was like, yeah, like I would just try it, even if it's only for you.
Oh no.
I could just see like the gears turning and then the smoke just burning out. Be like, oh
Oof.
no.
It's the panic. It's the oh shit.
It's the click 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 on the way to the top of the roller
Yeah.
coaster. Right before the pitfall of just shame.
Yes.
Don't be ashamed. Control what you can, relinquish what you cannot.
Period, king.
As is life.
This is life.
Jamie, how do you feel today?
I am very excited that I finally get a day off tomorrow.
Me too.
Dog, I'm so excited.
I don't even know what to do with all that time.
I finished all my homework. I don't have school tomorrow. I am going to the river and I'm not leaving all day.
Oh, that sounds like a Zach Brown band kind of day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we're going also all day on Friday again.
Oh, you know what this sounds like to me. This sounds like why why we would why we would clink.
Maybe.
Is there a drink nearby?
There, I have acquired.
Indeed there is. You know what? I'm gonna change it up for our viewers and for Jamie. I did not plan ahead for my drink, so we're gonna improvise.
Word.
Yeah, word. Hold on.
I believe in you.
All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say all of my good stuff, and then I'm gonna wrap up by taking a shot of Bailey's.
I love how you had a shot of Bailey's just ready.
I received it as a gift on Easter. God bless.
Good.
So, Jamie, why don't you go ahead? You had already said a lot of good things. If you want to reiterate any of them.
Um, I got to spend a lot of girl time with my best friend today. So,
Good.
like, much needed girl time. Like, it was just like, ah. So, yeah, that is why I'm clinking today.
Good. Well, I'm gonna clink. I'm not gonna imbibe yet, but I'll give you a little tiny. Boop.
You can smell it. Oh, click,
Click, click.
click, click.
All right, and you know what? Today was I have tomorrow off, just like Jamie does. Um, I have really enjoyed this podcast. This has gone swimmingly.
It was fun. It was a
It
lot of
was a
fun.
lot of fun. Work went well today. The weather has just been gorgeous, and I really have no complaints right now. So
Good.
those are my clinks, you know.
Wow.
And on that
Down the
note,
hatch. Impressive.
all
Very
right.
nice.
Well, audience, listeners, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for coming on. Jamie kind of did this on a last minute notice, and God bless her for doing so. She's a saint.
Well, thank you. Anytime.
Well, guys, this has been another episode of the Duck Boys podcast. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And you check the description down below for some socials. And we'll see you next week. Remember, all quack.
No rap,
All right. Much
right?
love, guys. Yes, that's right. That's right. Mwah. All right. Until next time.
Bye, guys.